And recording. So I've been meaning to get back to Dream Theater. I'd previously reacted to The Shattered Fortress, and that was kind of mind blowing. Uh, Dream Theater is one of those bands where like I've heard a song or two like at some point. Never really went out of my way to listen to them, even though I'd always been told that they were excellent, and I knew they were excellent, and they even fit into like the progressive kind of sound that I generally like. But again, for whatever reason, I just never really dug into their discography and like tried to check them out. But based off the suggestions from the last video, the clear winner is Breaking All Illusions, and I actually found a version of that takes place in Boston, which is the same place as the previous video. So, same concert. And I'm just going to jump right into it since it's like 12 and a half minutes. Massive attack almost.
With the sun in place, there's a test of fate. Streams of thought awaken. Mere realities, singularities, breaking all illusions.
Your living is determined not so much by what life brings to you as by the attitude you bring to life. Not so much by what happens to you as by the way your mind looks at what happens. Out of suffering have emerged the strongest souls, the most massive characters of seared and scars.
Sunburst lightning, burn so suddenly, masterful destruction. Clouds not unmet, misunderstanding truth, changing my direction. Breathing new, picking out waste time.
Want to pause it before it speeds up. I was curious what this was gonna sound like because the previous song was also pretty long, and it had lots of different segments and sections where it just transformed into different things. So this one's starting a little softer, a little ballady there with that chorus part that he just had, but that breakdown with the bass and the keys in the background, that sounded so smooth. It made me think of like old school trip hop. It had a really like Massive Attack kind of sound to it, and I dig that so much. It's very atmospheric, and if you have 12 and a half minutes to actually get to the song, that's a nice sort of build to kind of lull you into a sense of security before it ramps up and hits the crescendo, which I imagine it's going to at some point. Like, I can imagine this getting pretty heavy just as a dynamic kind of switch. And it sounds like it's picking up right now, but so far, so good. Did that bassist, was he playing a 6-string bass? Man. It's really jazzy. sounds like it's speeding up again. Ah, ah. I wanted to stop it to be sure to actually point out how awesome that section just sounded. Like, as much as I love heaviness and as much as I love distortion and like rage and power, this is my shit. This whole section where it broke down into like a Pink Floyd kind of sound, I love it so much. Like, if I could only listen to one style of music, it would be that. I enjoy that so much. And what's nice too is that in his guitar tone, I could hear a little bit of like Santana mixed in with it as well, just through like the sustain and the actual tone. And on top of that, or underneath that, I should say, I liked the interplay between the kicks and the drums and the basses, like the way they were playing with each other rhythmically. Like, it sounded so good underneath his soloing, and just that whole atmospheric, like the trip hop piece and then this piece, these nice little swells of quiet and down tempo kind of beats. I'm digging this so much. this must have been a long, long show if they're taking a 15-minute intermission. It's like that's the end of Act 1. Ah. You know what's funny too is that with any other band, the main focus would probably be on how good the singer is, because it sounds like he has a really, really wide range. Like he got high, he got super high with the notes that he was hitting, and his tone was super clear throughout. His like everything about him and the way he was singing was great and awesome, and he took a backseat to the actual instrumentation, which is so funny because I completely forgot this wasn't an instrumental because he disappeared for like 4 minutes and then just showed back up at the end. From what I hear, most of the people I know who love Dream Theater are musicians, and they appreciate the musicianship of the band. So it's not necessarily like you're gonna find something that's like radio friendly or anything. It's more about the composition and how intriguing everything is. And that jazzy kind of section that happened in the middle was kind of interesting. It threw me off at first. It even included like a 4 measures of just like a funky bass riff, and then just went back to the piano and guitar like battling each other. It was interesting. It made me think of there's been a couple of Between the Buried and Me songs I've reacted to where they include a section kind of like that. So it seems like Between the Buried and Me really, really love Dream Theater. And who wouldn't? Overall, this did have a down-tempo kind of beat to it. And that allows for a lot of improvisation or just experimentation, which is kind of what it seemed like they were doing. I really, really dug that trip-hop sounding section around the 2-3 minute mark. And then that solo that sounded so much like Pink Floyd, which I really, really love. I'd say overall, the previous song of The Shattered Fortress as a whole, I think I enjoyed that one more. But this one had sections in it that I enjoyed even more than that. So that Pink Floyd piece especially, I keep calling it that, like that eclipses the entirety of the previous song for me. But as a whole, Shattered Fortress was better, but not by much. This was still fantastic. And this was right before intermission. How many songs did they do? Is this like a 2.5 hour concert? Ooh, with nothing but like 10-12 minute songs. And the guitarist, I think I saw in the comments, is that John Petrucci? Is that his name? Because I've heard that name a bunch of times before, but I never knew where to put him in. Like, I always just assumed, based off of hearing the name, that he was just like a solo guitar guy, like a Steve Vai kind of thing. But if he's the guitarist for this band and this is what he's known for, like, it makes so much more sense now, based off the things I've heard, because I think this was a good showcase for him. I also like how this song just started right away in outside of a normal 4/4. I think this was what, like a 5/4 or 7/4. I couldn't tell. So it's cool to just enter into a song and immediately like throw the head bobbing and like mess that up a little bit. Obviously, if it's a concert, they've all heard the songs before, so they should already know how to head bob to it. But I got thrown off rhythm a little bit at the beginning, and I like that. I like when I hear a song for the first time and I'm being challenged by the band. It's like, no, we're not going to make this easy for you. You're going to submit to us. But I'm starting to ramble a little bit, but I'm enjoying Dream Theater a hell of a lot. I think I'm gonna stick to this concert since it seems like it's gonna be a big concert. What other song from this concert, live from the Boston Opera House, should I do next?